Hi, and welcome to Skin and Spirit. I am your host, Emmie Becker, and we are going to dive into all things that I can think of about the skin and spirit. It's been a while since my first episode of Skin and Spirit, so we have to close the gap with a little bit of history. Just a little update of what's happened since the last podcast. And now, with that, we will get started. Okay, so I am Emily Becker, aka Emmie, a skincare formulator for Emmie's Remedies, which is my all natural, 100% natural, synthetic free skincare line that I am building and going to school while I build it. And short story, I got into that kind of when I was about 10 years ago, when I was getting really sick, and when I started turning towards God and everything, like I was cleaning out my spiritual dirt and also cleaning out the chemicals in our home at the same time. It was kind of just happening all together about the same time. So I got into making skincare for my baby, who was highly allergic to just the world around her. We lived in a moldy house. I did not realize that we were moved into one, and it took us a while to get out of that house, and it really took a toll on my newborn baby's health. So, but through that, we learned on how to clean and eat healthy, not live in dirty, moldy apartments. You know, we have our own home. We a wonderful, beautiful home, and this is actually our second house. And we've gone from making thick balms with, a lavender and tea tree in it to creamier balms with lavender and tea tree in it. Those are still good oils. Whether, yeah. Anyways, so if you are watching on video and not on the podcast, you notice that I got a new hairdo. Yeah. And that's part of it, is that I have alopecia, and I've been dealing with this on and off for, 2008, and to different varying degrees. And right now my hair is on its way growing back in. But anyways, that's part of why I also get into natural and holistic approaches to things, that I don't want to be kind of hooked and stuck on MD prescriptions. That I believe that God created our bodies naturally able to heal itself, whether divine healing and or nutritional healing. I think both are possible, and why not try both? I'm a prayer warrior. I pray all the time. I went and got prayed for my hair, and not a single hair that has grown in has fallen out. So praise Jesus. Anyways, and then also nutritionally, I believe that God has designed our bodies to use food, and our bodies are able to restore itself to a certain extent. In the broken world, we cannot live forever, and we will break down, and we will pass and die. But there are plenty of diseases that can be reversed. And this is my belief. I don't know how YouTube works on claims or whatever. I'm going to find out, I'm sure. But anyways, my belief is that our bodies are designed to be able to reverse issues if we are giving the right tools. And yeah. Anyways, so I don't have a script for today's episode. I'm just filling in the gap while I figure out where this podcast is going. Now, I had tried to record 2 other podcasts while on this break, and the first one, my microphone cracked out, and it just sounded terrible. It was scratchy, crackly. So hopefully this recording will go well, and I will check it, obviously. And otherwise, it's another trash podcast. And then another one that I did, I tried writing out a script, and it just isn't really me, and I didn't like it. Like, it's too forced. I want to have a conversation. I want to interact with the camera, with the microphone. I want to interact with the audience. I don't want to sit there and read a script. We're going to have AI taking over all kinds of entertainment businesses. It's already happening in blogs and news articles, like, and even on YouTube, there's AI generated YouTube videos. So let's stay, not that I'm totally 100% against AI, but I'm seeing it in the tools that I'm using that AI is kind of like taking over. And people are losing their jobs because of AI. I think that is a reality, and I think we're going to see that more and more. I think AI is also a useful tool, but I'm not going to be best friends with it at all. So, also, if you have thoughts on any of these topics, whether it's skin, spiritual, or AI taking over the world, leave a comment. Let's have this conversation going, because I would love to have back and forth with the viewers or the listeners. Anyways, so let's get back on track. Since my last podcast, I was kind of struggling, both financially and with business, and just trying to figure out where I'm supposed to be going. Should I even bother with doing a podcast? Do I have time for that? I have kids. I homeschool. I'm going to school. I'm trying to run a business and everything. And I think I'm just going to allow the times that I'm able to do the podcast instead of trying to force a schedule, because it just doesn't work for me that way. And I was struggling a bit financially, and since my last podcast, and I was able to, let's just say some friends, some amazing people from my church were willing to help. And since then, we have changed where we shopped, we have changed how we spend our money, and just those simple tiny changes has relieved all of that financial stress. And it has also totally, their help and their prayers have totally helped with blessing the work of my hands. God has blessed the work of my hands. My business is thriving. It's doing great. I love it. And around Black Friday, I was just so stressed because it was so much work, and I didn't think I was able to do it. And then I just gave it to God. I'm like, okay, if I oversell and I can't restock, I'm just going to deal with each issue as it comes. And I've sold out like 3 times since Black Friday, and I don't get stressed. I'm just grateful for the work, grateful for the buyers, grateful that I can do this, and it's just great. So I've been really busy. It is December 7th today for this recording. So since Black Friday to today, or the week of Black Friday to today, I've been pretty busy, and I'm just so grateful for it. And but it's time. I have a little bit of time before I get to work, so it's about so I get to focus on my reverse formulation for my school project, which is another step closer to finishing that project. I've been on this, or that class, I have been on this for a long time. I go to Formula Botanica. It's a European-based natural whole skincare school. And yeah, it's going really well. This is my second course and I'm almost done with it. And the kitty is getting into everything. And so now we went from the first podcast to about now, and I don't have a plan for Skin and Spirit other than to connect with everybody. I did not want it to be focused on Emmie's remedies. I wanted to be focused on just kind of like an open book to skin health, to the condition of the woman hearts, and where should we be if we are followers of Jesus. Like, there's just so much. Like, whether it's our emotions or with our bodies being a temple. Yeah, that's enough of a conversation to have a lot to talk about. I am not a Bible scholar. I am just a girl who reads her Bible almost every night, not every night, at least Monday through Fridays, and then I forget occasionally. But I am surrounded by a lot of people who are devout Christians and who have a lot more knowledge than I do about the Bible, and I thank God for them every day. And I think that we should I think we should surround ourselves by people who love Jesus, who love to read, who love to teach, and whether we agree with everything they say is not important, but it helps with building our relationship with Jesus by seeing them live their lives strong in the faith. Anyways, I don't know if that makes any sense. And so that's the current present, is that I am building a business, just trying to figure out if I'm going to be doing this podcast, and trying to figure out what our topics will be. I am a professional skincare formulator, so if you have questions regarding skincare formulations, please reach out to me about that. The kitten is getting into everything. If you have questions about faith or Bible questions, I might not be able to answer them, but I will start helping people figure out the answers, because sometimes it's not about having the right answers, but telling people where to go to find them. I think that's how my spiritual growth has bloomed, is that I'm always eager to go and try and find the answers, and if I can't get the answers, I look for someone who does know where to go. Like, anyways, what is the future of Skin and Spirit? I would like to do questions and answers for everybody. I'd even like to talk about things that you find in the Bible that you're like wondering how we can apply it today. So a little backstory is I made Esther's Calling, which was a myrrh infused beauty serum, and it was inspired by Esther in the Bible and how she only opted to use myrrh. Now this has 2 other ingredients as a carrier that's also restoring and balancing. Anyway, so if things like that come up in the Bible and you have questions about, I'd love to answer them. Something I'm always dealing with as a skincare formulator who used to do well, before I found Jesus, when I was a teenager, long time ago, when I was preteen, teen, I got into Wicca stuff, and then I got into Wicca stuff, and some of the other things, like, people would try to give me the book The Secret, and I read through the whole thing. I was like, this is the most ridiculous, as even a non-Christian, a non-Jesus believer, I read the book and I was just like, this is just the most evil crap. It's just the most, I don't know, it was a terrible book in my opinion. And it was gifted to me from someone who thought I would love the book. So I don't know. Anyways, so I was a teenager and I got into some stuff, and when I found my husband before we were married, he made me throw away my tarot cards and other things, and we just cleaned out all my stuff, and I didn't really think much about it. But once I found Jesus and accepted him as my Lord and Savior, I really started to clean out, like, my emotions and my thoughts and everything else, because, like, I had thrown away and burned the physical things that were of Wicca, but I was not, my body and my mind were still kind of corrupted in that sense, and I had to do a lot of casting out and praying and turning to Jesus for stuff. So, and that was a couple year process, and many years later, now that I'm getting older, I'm turning 35 next month. Woohoo! Alright. Anyways, so coming from that background, I, as a skincare formulator, struggle with a balance between making pots and potions, you know, and elixirs and magic, and being firm, a good example as a Christian. Like, you don't want to meddle in things that are evil at all in any way, shape, or form. So I'm always so very careful when I'm thinking about my formulations. Like, okay, is this okay with God's creation? I'm definitely, like, I see some skincare formulators, I see some really amazing skincare products that are out there, but they are, the creators are trying to invoke a different kind of spirit, and it's just really weird. Like, you never would think about it, or even in certain teas, you know, like, just, why can't you just drink tea and enjoy its benefits and not have to deal with the Buddha, like, I don't know how to explain this. This is good practice for me. This is only episode 2, but I would like to get into this stuff at a deeper level, and maybe even have on guests that can help me, that know more about the Bible. And I can think of a few names. Gary something. I have his book. Anyways, like, I don't know. Anyways, I think it would be really fun to dive into those topics. Like, whether you're at home just making a simple balm out of tallow and tea tree and lavender. I know I mentioned those ingredients earlier, but those are my favorite, just basic at home ingredients. You know, they just cover so many things, ailments, you know, that you have at home. Anyways, so, alright, I'm getting off topic. So the future of Emmie's Remedies will be discussions about Bible and about skincare, and about, are we focused on God's creation, or are we meddling in naughty things or evil things? I have kids, so I might use parent language. Anyways, I hope you like this quick podcast, and I would love to get deeper into more spiritual and skin topics. That's why we call us Skin and Spirit. Alright, this is your host, Emmie Becker, saying see ya! Don't forget to send out questions questions. I want to answer your questions on my next episode. All right. Bye.